Just finished work. It's Thursday afternoon. Back at Rapid Exhaust. So I've gotten the phone call. Super excited. The extractors are in. So I'm over here now. I'm going to pick them up. The deadline's getting there. Just looked at the weather map. It's got like rain from this weekend right through to next week, which is going to interfere with everything. So let's get this done. Exhaust. Go pick up these extractors. Super excited. Beautiful. Love it.
We're back on tail, we're a little bit more the same price.
Oh, I appreciate it, mate. I'm so excited. And the O2 bungs just go straight in, and
yeah, should be one in the bottom here.
I'll just take it out of the old one, and
yeah, straight in there. Yeah.
So that's the red back one, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, stoked. Yeah. Good old Australian redbacks, mate. Yeah. All right, so just picked them up. Next thing I've got to do is I picked up these second-hand 20s. They're not too bad, actually. A little bit dusty, but they're not too bad. They've obviously been painted, but for what we're doing, it's going to be perfect. So I've got to run down now. Danix at Albion Park, they quoted me up. I just asked for the dirtiest, cheapest set of 20-inch tyres they got, which is 115 bucks. Going to get these things wrapped up, but I might leave it with them so they can do it to save time. I'm going to head straight back to the yard. Very excited. I'm pumped today. Today's pumped. I've made a lot of phone calls. I've collected a lot of parts, and what I might do as well is I'll leave, maybe at the last episode, I'll go together all my receipts and things I paid for, so I can show you exactly what I paid for these, so you can see, you know, what I've done with this car. There's going to be things where you can cut corners and save money, obviously do things a little bit cheaper or find things cheaper, but when you've got a 2-week deadline, 2 weeks to build a skid car start to finish, like even a cheap budget one, like I was saying, you know, when you want something that's not there, when stuff's there, you got no cash, or something's going on, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna get these going. I've got to go down to Albion Park now and get some tyres wrapped up. Just dropped them off at Danix. I didn't get to film too much there because I'm just in a bit of a rush, so they might even have them done this afternoon. We'll see. But I've got to go to the yard because I've got to get hands on this, and as you can see, it's already getting dark. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon. What the hell? I know there's a couple of clouds, but 5 o'clock and you're pretty much cooked these days. Go over, let's get some car stuff done. Take the bed liner out, and then apparently there's 8 bolts underneath this, and then the tray comes off. Yep, swing and a miss. Got myself with the hammer. So I've got these guards. I'm just going to sit it there just so you can get an imagination what's going to happen. I'm going to weld some plate off the top, weld it to the guards, so the guards protect all the rubber, killing everything pretty much. I'm just going to put a basic bed on it, and then that's it. That's going to be it. It's not done, lot to do, but just so you can get an idea what's happening. Nah, doing well. Getting into the front end now to tidy it up, and mate, I think today's been a really good day, and this should be nearly ready to start prepping on Saturday morning. So then come back in, start getting the orbital straight into it. So check it out. She's a mess, but we're getting there. Yep, definitely looking cleaner. Had a lot of sand and mud and things in the rail, so start making these guards now. I've got some one by one box tubing straight across the chassis rail, weld the steel guards up. That's the next step. Then I can get the steel guards in primer. I'm trying to set up a bit of a welding station, and we'll do that right now. Got my little welding station set up, so disconnected it from the Triton. Obviously, just in case I get any current through the trailer, it's not going to go into my car. because you should always disconnect your battery before you weld on any vehicle. So yeah, this is just a welding station right now, just a prep station. Just measured 1500. So you just see a couple of lines there. Just taped them together just to keep the measurement once. I'm just going to cut it once with the grind. So I'll cut that off, and that's going to be my distance between my guards. Flip these upside down, measure them, square them up, bang the welds on there. Then I'll sit it over top of the chassis, pick my spot, then I'll just weld it straight to the chassis. So I just squared it up on the trailer itself, so the guards are perfectly square. It's 1800 across from edge of wheel to edge of wheel. So I'm just going to clean up these little edges now. I'm just going to put a decent spot weld on them. Might have to run a little bead just so I can pick this thing up without breaking the welds, test fit it, and make sure it's right where I need to be. So it took me a minute to get the welder set up because I'm welding galvanized steel and normal steel, but I started getting it. So this is all just tack welded up. So just tack welded up, sat it on in position to have a look at where I'm at. I've only just got clearance for stocky, so I won't be able, I'll have to revisit this when I put 20s on the back. Just, yeah, finished welding that up. Obviously disconnected the battery, mocked it, prepped it, tack welded it, and then I've just gone through, and I feel it should be strong enough to be doing tyres at what this thing will be doing tyres at. Am I going to bend guards and defect it for the next round? I hope not. I hope it lasts through the weekend. So this is what I've done. Not the best welds, but they're definitely on. Both sides to the guards, up the top as well. Yeah, so that's done. And now that is perfectly in line with that as well. So when I put that form ply over the top to here, so all these top parts are all even. So I'll drop that over the top, but I'll paint this first. So now that's all done. I don't know how it's going to work sanding and primering gal, but I'm going to do it anyway. I really should be draining the diff right now and while the weld is set up, welding it. But I think with the day, I'd rather paint it. I'd rather paint it because we can always back it in the shed next week when it's raining and weld the diff. So makes sense to do it now, but mate, time is not on our hands. And with the weather map, yeah, it's beautiful now. Monday it's coming. It got pushed back to Monday and all next week rain. So let's get this thing ready for paint. See the lines in it still. That was the first coat. Can't see, bro. It took me half the car until I realised where the settings were. You can see it's starting to look a bit better there. And it uses product. So it's first coat, got to wait 40 minutes. I'll do it with another coat. So that was 2 litres on that, just to do one coat. I'm going to thin it out a little bit more and get it to go a little bit further in this last one. Gonna saw this exhaust off quickly, weld the diff, and try and figure something out with that master cylinder to disconnect the brakes. Just keep going. Yesterday was a huge day, totally exhausted, not that happy with how the car turned out. Ran out of that Predator bed liner, so it's definitely dodgy. Got some overspray here and there. So once I do this diff and this master cylinder, that's pretty much going to do it for today. And then I'll go back over and clean the car and try and clean up this overspray just so it doesn't look like a freaking derby car. I want it to look like a skid car. So let's try and tidy that up. That'll be today, and then I'll come back through the week. I've got to do more bed liner on the front bar because I ran out and just focused on the cab. So I've got to do that as well. Let's get into this today. Let's keep going. Let's get this done. Let's get this looking like a thing. So just got the welder set up. Going to drop the oil. I'll brake clean it. I'm not even going to take the axles out to do this. I'm going to do it like full Dodge spec. As if MIG lockers aren't dodgy enough, I'm going to leave the axles in. So drop the oil. I've got this bad boy, and I'm just going to chop this old exhaust off. can see it here. I'm just going to chop it there. Probably straight down through there. Get underneath the car and chop it right behind the exhaust manifold. Just chop it up in pieces so we can scrap it while the oil's draining. Take the cover off, weld it up, put it back together. That's the rear end done. And you can see like the overspray that I'm super not happy about, but there's nothing I can do. I bought more black paint, so I'll mask that off and do the chassis again. I've just finished brake cleaning the inside of that diff. Just letting it dry. I've wiped it out with a rag, and what I'll do is when it comes time, I'll hit it with a spark, and then hopefully it just doesn't bang up and catch fire on me, but it should be right. But first thing I'm going to do is I've grabbed this big chunk of metal. I don't need a tow bar anymore, so I ripped it off. Gave it a quick clean up. It's still dirty, but it's going to do. What I'm doing is trying to set this welder up for a pretty heavy gauge, just so I can get that deep penetration, because there's no room. I'll show you in a second. I'm not a diff technician, but these are the sun gears up in there. So you see a gear running across the top, one running across the bottom, and then two on either side. I want to run a weld right in between that star, and there's not much nozzle room. Like, that's my finger. So you can imagine by the time I get the nozzle in here, and I'm just going to blast it and try and join them two gears together, like stitch it together. I'm not going to have a second chance if the welder's not set up and it starts building weld on top of it. I really need it to penetrate straight away, and there's no nozzle room, so I don't even know how I'm going to go. I might even have to take the tip of the nozzle off just to get up in this one in here, there. So it's going to be hard, so I'm going to do the best I can. This side I'm going to roll it over, and there's the same opening on the other side, and I'm just going to do the best I can. So I'm just going to smash it and see how we go. That's what we're up to, living the skid car life on a budget. MIG lockers, baby, oh yeah. So cleaned, let's hit some weld on that and see how we go. Well, I love this Unimig Viper. Straight away I just opened the door up, went to the basic settings, I turned it up slightly from what it recommended, and this is the result I got straight off the bat. So decent penetration straight away. Let's see if we can go this way. Straight away, not too much slag, not too much excess slag splattering, and that's on a dirty bit of metal too. So I don't want too much slag splattering, because it will end up in the diff, will end up through your crown gears, and that's not what I want. I just want a clean penetration straight off the bat. Happy with that setting. I'm going to have a go. Here it is. Check it out. You know, that's not too bad. Like, to start off the skid scene, you know, started off with a $500 car. I'll go through and have a look at what I spent. Well, that's it. That's all you need. And I'm seriously excited to see where I go with this car. Like, I'm going to start off with the 6-cylinder scene. Once I feel like I've done that class for a while and I'm being competitive, or I'm starting to get, not even up on the podium, but just up there, you know, like your 4ths and 5ths and 6ths. Once I feel like I've done that, and yeah, I'm happy, whatever, may even take a place. Once I've done that, I want to go up into the next class. So I'm just going to start from the bottom. I might stay in it for a while. I might stay in the class for 12 months. I don't know. Start from the bottom, work my way up, keep cleaning this car up. Every time I pull it down to do something, clean it, fix it, repair it. It's got a heap of rust. I need to do some rust repairs in them seals. Probably needs 2 new seals. I'll put some XR6 skirts on it to clean that up too. Every time I do something to this car, I'll clean it. But for right now, for a 2-week thrash, this is going to be sick. All right, let's do this. Test skid. Test it.